So we had trade opportunity here. There was like this U-shaped dip in the pre-market, opportunity right around the open, at a crest to open up a short position. Then we had this big drop, brings us to about a big drop. Started a little earlier than well, no, it started at like 10, and then it picked up some more steam before 11 o'clock. And we have this we have this low here, and then an unexpected move higher. That's probably that right there. What time is that? 11:30. Unexpected move higher, and then we meet the low. So I probably would have expected like an unexpected move out of the low. There's a little bit more choppiness going on here than that, but still pretty solid. And then we have this crest that we revisit in the midst of some erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level, taking us into roughly 1 o'clock, where we have a breakout. That breakout is a trade opportunity to open up a short position or close a long position that could have been opened around the low as well. And then it looks like this drop right here was another trade opportunity. That was about 3 o'clock. Right in line with that. I probably expected this to be the low here. It's pretty close, but I probably expected, well, maybe not. Hard to say, because this is a pretty significant low here. We have the low correlation there. It's sort of hard to determine where we have the high at. But we should see, like, this is the sideways S formation that we're seeing here, right? This is and there's a trade opportunity in it, but likely this right here, this move to the downside to support, and then all the way back to resistance, and then we should see it go all the way back to support, or close to all the way back to support, and that will create the sideways S formation. You could also say that this was sideways S, but it would have been a little early, right? That's like, what time did that start? 1:40. There's a definite sideways S in there, that's for sure. But in the last hour, there's a big move to the upside, pushing the upper end of a range higher. This low here was a bullish opportunity as well. See this large volume in the decline here. That was the opportunity based on what we were seeing here. So like we're still at Tarot for Traders, kind of viewing over like what the card placement here has as meaning, like how to interpret the cards, because this is volume. It's something new that we added just a few months ago. Volume. I might have left it out of May and June because it's so new I forgot about it. I have to look. But volume, and the way that this should be read is that there's an opportunity off of the high there. I think we're probably still in sideways S, and this big move higher takes place right around the close with this like pop and drop sort of that's going on. We open higher the following day though.
Hey, Trading Altitudes with Candlesticks, welcome.
A dump in what? In the S&P 500? Yeah, so see, we're at a resistance level here that we break down from with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down, right around the solar eclipse. But I don't see a dump before the solar eclipse. Like I've seen some people talking about a dump because of the eclipse. I've been watching the eclipse and what it does with the S&P 500 since about 2007. Every time there's been like a solar eclipse, and there are like historically there are like strong correlations between solar eclipses and market crashes. Do I think we're going to see a market crash here? Not really. No, I don't. I think we have a bit of a dump ahead of us. But like people are talking about like the end of the world, and been my experience since as far back as when I was a Wall Street broker, that like when everybody and their mother's talking about how it could be the end or like things could come crashing down, that's a sure sign that you've reached bottom. Because you have to take into consideration that the stock market is not a representation of the value at present time. It's a representation of the value of expectations, right? So like if everybody expects the end to be so near, then they've already positioned themselves for that end, putting us at a bottom, and it holds pretty true. I've been saying it for like I don't know a few weeks now that we're gonna come up near a bottom there. Well, how many weeks was it? About a month now. Around this time, I was saying that. But yeah, there is a bit of a dump ahead of us because we break down with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down, and that takes us into erratic behavior. I kind of feel like... Oh, and then as far as what I've seen, as far as my experience watching the solar eclipses, is that even in the readings, the solar eclipse energy, like, it far outweighs the energies of the readings. Like, it's the energy becomes so bullish going into the solar eclipse. It's like, it's just... irrational almost. That's what I've seen. And even in cases where there's been negative cards, I've seen that's been times where I was wrong because it went up anyways, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Sometimes that'll happen when you have such a strong overarching trend. The cards that are kind of like energies of the contrarian direction will get nullified, but it has to be really strong. In any case, we're near this resistance level here, this important resistance level. We should be doing erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. And then there's a notable crash. Well, not crash, excuse me, wrong word. There's a notable decline. It'll stand out on a 1-year chart off of this resistance. So if you're new to the channel, guys, the way that you read a 1 year, each of these clusters of 4 cards represents 1 month out of the year. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You see how they're labeled. These cards up here give me information about where there's local highs on the timeline. These cards going across are timeline cards. And these cards at the bottom here represent local lows, like on a 1 year kind of scale. But each cluster, this represents, it's like a theme card for early January. This is a theme card for late January. This is a theme card for the high, a theme card for the low. So it gives you some information. And then when you combine that with the monthlies, you get a lot more information. But what I see happening is we have this early March trough stands out in the year. We rally pretty notably into this. There's a trough there, and then there's this crest and erratic behavior. It could be closer to the big drop. Could be closer to the lunar eclipse. Yeah, I think the big drop really takes place in early May. Let me take a look at the May reading. We haven't released this yet. Oh wait, I think we have released it. Yeah, we released the May. So guys, the way that you get the May S&P 500, the earliest you can get it is through early access on our website, Tarot for Traders. Um, Here under our services, SO Meta Forecasts, right at the top, early access to forecasts. Subscribe here. It's a really great way to support the channel. We're $249 $29 a month, $249 a month. We're changing the premium access. That's good. There's going to be a change coming, or $249 a year. Excuse me. We're changing the premium access, so that won't be there for very long. And we do have, guys, we manifested recurring payments. We now have recurring payments on the website. We also have recurring payments on YouTube. We have a backup recurring payments way. So like, as far as manifesting, like there you go. We did it. Like we did it. And it's the timing of retrograde makes me think the one that we have now may be temporary. So we have a backup. But with that said, we're doing recurring again. So really it would be great to support the channel that way. What was I getting into? Yeah, so like early May. Oh, I was looking at the May. I was looking for the May 1 month, right? Yeah, there's a unicursal in here. So the earliest you can get it is through early access on the website. The earliest you can get it for free would be to sign up for the free newsletter on our website, Tarot for Traders, and that gives you gets you an email, free email with the prediction coming. It comes earlier, like somewhere between somewhere around like the second week of the month preceding it, the month that it speaks about. I'm going to keep that where it was, actually, back here, but it looks like there's a pretty notable drop. Might even be off of the peak right here on the 27th of April. See, but there's a cross correlation here. See, this is the strife card, and it also correlates to the high correlation card on the 1 month. What that means is that when I go to the 1 year, what do we have? We have the strife card here in April as the high correlation card. So it's a cross-reading congruency, if you will. Strong indications of a high here. We may see it again later in the week. But there's unicursals here after the high. I think probably there's a big drop in tune with the lunar eclipse, which I believe is on the 5th. On the 5th, yeah. So as far as reading 1 years, then you have the highest, then you have the, where did it go? What the heck? Ay, ay. Good old Mercury retrograde for you. the heck? I'm gonna have to close out to open my 1 year. That's so annoying. So we've got unicursal energy throughout the week, which means we're coming up on a price level that we're going to break down through when we come through like the next multi-level, like multi-day decline. The unicursal energies kind of mark off price levels that we should break down through. So there's a support level that was revisited here on the 18th, Queen of Discs. Let me see. Well, I guess you could say we visited the support right here. From a day, 2 days prior. And then tomorrow there's a resistance level that's highlighted, and it's an important price level on a like on at least a 1 year kind of, well, excuse me. Yeah, on at least a 1 year scale, 1 year chart kind of scale. And you can see we're so close to the top. We might actually meet the top tomorrow and then have some like fluctuations. The 20th, interesting. We've got unicursal here and a Princess of Wands. Yeah, there's a pretty bullish move in the morning tomorrow. We open higher and then there's a lot of movement to the upside. Tomorrow's notably bullish. So like on a day trade kind of scale, hey, it was like we're gonna close silver on the 20th. I'll take a look at Bitcoin just a sec. Hey Lou Tiffy. Sure, we'll get into Tesla in a minute. Bitcoin. drop should be today, really, the 18th. Let me see. Sometimes we're off by a day here or there. So this is one day, huh? Bullish. So here's the drop, preceding kind of day. There's a drop there. Oops, wrong one. It gets pretty bullish, like, but there's somewhere around the cusp of April, May, there should be a drop, like from a resistance that we've failed to break through many times before. But like the further we move to May, the more bullish I am on Bitcoin. Like, it's possible that that these cards. Remember, when you're reading a 1 year reading, the timeline cards each represent about 2 weeks of time, and not each card's energy is going to line up perfectly with 2 weeks of time. So you have to take into consideration the sequence of events that we're predicting is very important, because sometimes we'll be right on point, other times we'll be like 2 weeks off here or there, maybe even a little bit more at times. But so really, these could have been combined, the Ace of Cups here and the Death card, which it really seems like, considering we're already in the 18th of April. The high for April, there's a failed attempt to break through resistance that it looks like we're going to break through, because we've kind of like established support. So probably this price level here, let's see. I don't think this is my finest work. Let's take a look. You know, I smoked Bitcoin in March. Totally off on that. Trough here. Trough here. I mean, I think tomorrow's pretty bullish. Tomorrow's looking pretty bullish to me. This looks like the support level trough that I would have expected to be a low. This looks like a here, which really is on what, the 17th. So we're off by a day, which will happen with the 1 month. Same thing goes. When you're reading a 1 month reading, it's a sequence of events that's most important, my friends, because not every card's energy. These timeline cards each represent 1 day of time, and not each card's energy is going to line up perfectly with 1 day of time. So you're going to have kind of like moments where you're off by a day or two. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen, you know. It's the sequence of events that's most important. If you want to learn more about SO Meta, guys, there's people that got the ebook and successfully do their own readings. Where is that? You can get the ebook right here on our website. It's on sale for $33 right now, normally $55. I have all the books that are in this field, which basically is like tarot and the stock market or psychic investing, psychic finance. There's like literally 4 books other than mine, and you can tell they weren't written by somebody from the finance world. Like I actually made it to Wall Street as a Wall Street broker. The firm that I worked for is notorious. It's going to be in like history books. The guy that was like standing next to me, like by like maybe 3 feet, his desk was right next to me. He started the company. I was a vice president of the company when it first started, and I left because the guy was such a. Our energies were different, and so I left. And everybody thought I was crazy because I made it to Wall Street as a college dropout, and I walked out of Wall Street because my intuition was telling me it wasn't a good place to be. People thought I was nuts. Part of me thought I was nuts. You know, everybody's telling me I'm nuts. So, yeah. So that's kind of like a story in itself. But with that said, so all that knowledge from Wall Street, I started trading. My first trade was in the year 2000. My very first trade, I made $12,000. Well, it went up $12,000, and I was like, oh man, that only took 15 minutes. I'm gonna go take a shower. I came back and it was down 9. Like I remember that day. It was my best trade and one of my worst. But in any case, that's back. You know, I started back when E-Trade was the only online broker. So in any case, this is $33 normally on sale for 50, or normally it's 55, but it's on sale for 33. You can pick it up there. Also, Amazon's got it for Kindle. You can get it on Amazon as well. I'm not sure if it's on sale there or not. Forget.
So trading altitudes with candlesticks, price levels.
When I'm wrong, there's 2 places that I end up being wrong most frequently. One is on gaps between days, like where we open and close, and the other one is price levels. Doesn't mean I'm wrong all the time. I'm not right all the time. But when I tend to be wrong, like out of all of my predictions, there's a higher probability of it being price levels than like chart patterns and things like that. SOMETA is more designed for chart patterns than price levels. Sometimes we're able to deduce price levels based on the card's information, certain cards representing price levels themselves. But 4,300 on the S&P. And then I'm going to do Tesla. Yeah, there's a strong likelihood like as we exit April and move into May, we're gonna have this sharp drop, and then there's a climb back up, so there's opportunity there. We might come down as low as like probably come down. I think it's likelihood there's a likelihood we hit like the 390s. There's possibility based on the placement of this ruin here that we come down to these same lows. It would make sense if we were going to come back to these same lows that we would do it around these eclipses in the midst of a Mercury retrograde. So here's the thing about Mercury retrograde, guys. I've been studying Mercury retrograde, watching it in relation to the S&P 500 since 2007. There's 3 of them a year, sometimes 4. And there's one thing that you can count on: high levels of volatility. Like, we've broken volatility records during retrogrades. I've seen it happen. And normal technical chart stuff that you would like rely on is kind of like, those rules are out the window. You'll either break like right through a support resistance level or support level, or you'll like come towards it, not meet it, and then do a reversal. Like, that's all Mercury retrograde type stuff, which we enter retrograde, really the influence of it we've already entered, but it gets more and more volatile as we move forward towards the 21st. Now, one thing about retrogrades is they're not all as volatile as each other. There's higher volatility. There's some are a lot more disruptive than others, but you can tell which ones are going to be more disruptive based on the other things that transpire astrologically within the Mercury retrograde time period. Excuse me. In the case of this Mercury retrograde time period, we have 2 eclipses, one of the 2 main disruptors, heightened disruptors. So if we're going to see a sharp drop, it's going to be off of like a revisiting of a crest, right? We're revisiting a crest. We could go a little higher, but we're revisiting a crest here. I think tomorrow we're probably higher. And then we have from a prominent peak or crest on a 1 year, there's a sharp decline through multiple support levels, taking us into a low that'll stand out on a 1 year as well, and an opportunity to open up a long position. We go out of that low from the bottom of range all the way to the top of a range, and very likely see a new high or the year's high thus far there in early June. It's a brief peak that's easily missed. We drop from there, there's price swings, and then we see it again towards the end of, or somewhere in July. But it's possible, you know, when I did this 1 year reading, guys, it was, when did I do this 1 year reading? It was created on October 10th, 2022. That's when the file was created. And we did the actual video on October 26th. So, you know, that was a long time ago. That was a very long time ago to still be using this. And in that amount of time, my knowledge of Esometa has evolved. And I see that there's a very strong likelihood that we have a lowest low somewhere around this Mercury retrograde. It's possible. In May. It's possible we have a lowest low in May. Or it may not be a lowest low, though. It may just be like a prominent low, but there's an opportunity there. And when we look at May, remember, you got to give it about 2 weeks. Two weeks wiggle room on the 1 year reading, on the 1 month, a few days, but like we have more rally with the peak that's easily missed here in May, right? That's a cross reading congruency right there, if you ask me. Oh, that's Bitcoin. I'm like, where did it go? Right, we have indolence here at the beginning of June, cross-reading congruency, so off of a high there. All right, let's see what else we got.
I gotta do Tesla.
Bitcoin. Hermes, he keeps sitting on my mouse, man. It looks pretty bullish till somewhere around the cusp there. Yeah, there's a drop in there somewhere. It's not going to be like a huge drop, but there's a drop in there that'll stand out on a 1 year, followed by a high there for Bitcoin, like probably the second week of May. But I would pretty much be like, I would be looking for to buy on dips, Bitcoin to buy on dips, because the highest high I believe is really at the end of the year. Strongly feel that about Bitcoin. All right, let's do Tesla, guys. Sorry for the wait. Hermes, I'm gonna put you on the floor if you keep sitting on my mouse like that. Go over here. So guys, there's going to be some changes coming with this eclipse to the channel. We're going to have some membership levels. Really great way to support the channel. We haven't been getting the support that we need. Not that people haven't been giving us support. We're very grateful for the support that people have been giving us, but we're not big enough to receive what we need yet. So we had to make some changes to the channel. All of the monthlies, there's no longer going to be public versions of the monthlies. To get a monthly reading, access to a monthly reading, you can purchase it from the website, or you can join a membership level 2 on YouTube. When we launch it, it'll be probably tomorrow, the next day. But I'm doing way too much work, and I'm not getting the compensation that I need to support the channel even. So like this is what's necessary for us. Like 5% donations just kind of like fell off a cliff. So there's early access on the website, and then there's early access plus access to all of the 1 months, or there's like you can get individual 1 months. You'll see when it comes out. Where's this 1 year? What am I looking for? There we go. All right.
All right.
April's was looking pretty bearish, if I remember correctly, for Tesla. So we had a high here first thing in the year. We might have been off by a day. I think the high probably ended up being... Oh, it was on the 3rd. Oh, we have the 5th. We have the 5th. So we were off a couple days, but we had the high at the beginning of the year. Looks like, or the beginning of the month. Looks like we're pretty spot on with that. On the 10th, there's a low. We were spot on with that. On the 13th, another low. Pretty spot on with that. 13th, 14th, kind of. 13th. So it looks like there's a lot of price movement tomorrow, a lot of price change, probably to the upside out of a trough. That's my sense. I might be wrong about the order, but my sense is that it's probably a trough first and then a move to the upside. If I'm wrong and it starts in a crest, I would definitely get into a short position there. It's hard to say which is first, the high or the low for the day here. It looks like the high's probably towards the end of the day. And there's advisement here to open up a short position. So in the midst of like a rally, one might do that, although it's pretty risky because the following 2 days do look pretty bullish too. It might be like this rally into the 21st is an opportunity. I think probably the rally into the 21st is an opportunity to open up a short position. Well, we most likely have a lowest low on the 25th is my sense. That's Tesla. And it was like, what do you mean take a hit on Bitcoin on hold till lunar eclipse? Could you elaborate what you mean? ETH? Oh, and that Tesla reading that we were pretty spot on about, we were off a couple days on the high, but still the order of events pretty spot on. We got most of those lows. That Tesla reading for April was created on February 16th, 2023. Bang bang. That's Esometa. We just posted June 30th on YouTube public to make a point. The daily, so it's hour by hour chart behavior. Ethereum. I have such ADD today. Sometimes I forget what month it is too because I'm working so far ahead. I was just doing Ethereum's June reading, I believe. Either that or it might have been May. It might have been. I think it was May. I just did actually. There I go daydreaming. I'm so sorry. I have like the worst ADD today. Um, Arby's, get in my way, buddy. Looks like the low was on the 3rd. So we're off about a little bit about the low, but as far as the high goes, big move on to the from the 9th. We had a pretty sick trade. If you purchased the Ethereum paid version for April, then you probably made like the sickest trade where you opened up a long position around the 9th, 10th, and close that long position on the 15th. Boom, nice trade. But there is a highest high, it looks like, on the 27th. Be careful, universal energy, universal type of drop energy here. As we move towards this high on the 27th. Good boy, Hermes, good boy. We're gonna go to the dog park, Hermes. Don't you worry. Yeah, prominent trough. Where's my Ethereum chart? God, some people with their horns are like children with a toy horn. It's New York for you. If you can't handle that, you don't want to live in New York, that's for sure. Why does it keep doing that? That's so annoying. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so as far as Ethereum is concerned, I was just doing this in the looking at this in the May reading. We're still kind of at the end of the March sequence where we have like this big move to the upside, reaching for distant resistance, and then there's like this sideways rotation now. There should be a sharp drop within that period of sideways rotation, so we should see a sharp drop pretty soon. And where did it go? Might be very end of the month. A lot of craziness around that lunar eclipse there. A lot of craziness. Look at that. Two universal energy correlations. The lowest low. The ace of discs. Usually there's a lot of price change with the ace of discs. This ruin here also indicates a sharp decline. And like a big price swing from like probably a lowest low again here around the 7th or 7th or 8th, and then a big move to the upside on the 9th. Like a lot of well, matter of fact, no, it's probably declining into that. There's a lot of price change here. It's hard to determine if it goes up first or down first, but there's a lot of price change here. A lot, like a big cluster of energies going on there. I would say it's possible that we see highs here on the 23rd and the 30th, like the same highs. It's possible. But then we get into June. And June is pretty bullish. It's possible that we have a new high here for Ethereum around the cusp of July, August. Somewhere between July, August, probably in July, but somewhere July, August-ish. Ethereum for the overall for the year, though, is a failed attempt to break through key resistance and then decline through key support, and it'll be resistance that we're expecting to break through. Any on a 1 year kind of scale, any big dips in Ethereum or buy opportunities, we push the upper end of a range higher. So we, in all likelihood, in 2024, see new all-time highs in Ethereum. For SPC in August, I haven't looked out as far as August goes. August, pretty high in August. So I actually see now, and this the SPC 2023 reading I did back in was created September 3rd, 2022. So since that time, my understanding and my knowledge of SOMeta has evolved. I'm seeing something here. I'll probably do a review video of a couple of these. Although the SPC, I did go through a review in the May prediction. Appreciate the support, Space Lover. Yeah, I was talking to my friend about going up to like upstate New York on the weekends so I could detox, because it's like a full-time job just managing your energy in a mega city like New York City. But this is where I learned to raise my vibration, was in the midst of all of this. There's a lot that can be learned from like countless number of situations like presented in front of you every single day. You learn a lot about people, a lot about life, a lot about metaphysics if you think about what's happening around you metaphysically. So hard to say what the price will be for SPC, but there's a lot of bullish behavior in July, like a lot of bullish behavior in July, early August. Bullish behavior in late May. In any case, so if you just hopped on, guys, we're making some changes to the channel. We're adding some membership levels. We really need support for whatever reason. Like last few weeks, sales and 5% really kind of like dropped off a cliff, and we were forced to make some changes in order to make sure we can keep the channel running. It's been really crazy. We went from like doing awesome to like quiet. Especially considering most of our predictions have been like on point. I think people have just been preoccupied or something. But with that said, there's memberships that are coming out, and you should see them come out around the eclipse. So look out for that stuff. The biggest change is that all of the monthlies that we do, there's no longer going to be public monthlies. You'll be able to get those individually on our website, or you'll be able to get access to all of them through one of the second membership level on our YouTube channel, or through the website. The higher membership level, you can get it there too. The difference between the YouTube and the higher levelship member or on the website is the YouTube doesn't have early access. Higher membership level doesn't have a bunch of the YouTube benefits. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You find where is that? You do so here at the resources tab of our website, the rule of karma. If you don't know, if you're new, it's the whole purpose of the channel. We're looking to transmute some of the competitive energy from the stock market and put it to good use in more productive ways. So we ask that you take 5% of the profits that you make from the information in this channel and donate it forward to one of these charities here, or to a charity of your choosing. Just make sure you're donating 5% forward. Keeps the flow of abundance moving through the universe, and it multiplies through all multiverses. You're doing a good deed that multiplies through all multiverses, not just one. It's a really, really good thing to do. And then 5% profits back to the channel for all the free work that we do. It takes a lot of work. Each reading is about 3 hours of work, guys. So it takes all my time. That leaves you with 90% of the profits. Make sure you spend that money